Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about fear of failure because it's something that held me back, and I decided at the beginning of this year that I had to do something about it. So I came up with my own project, and it was a wee bit different. The way that I tackled it was to set myself challenges, and it has worked, and it's let me know that you can overcome your fear, you can reclaim your confidence. I thought it would be quite amusing and maybe helpful if I told you how I did it, because again I did it in quite an unusual way. So I'm going to talk you through how I overcame my fear of failure. So the first thing with fear of failure, I don't think it's a good idea to overanalyze things, but if you've got an idea where it came from, that is helpful. And I think for me it was two things. It was high school. There's a surprise for so many of us. It's not a pleasant experience, and I didn't enjoy high school. I loved primary school, and I used to do public speaking and I was asked to do readings and I loved it. And then for some reason someone took a dislike to me at high school, and it was actually on the first day, and that just made it hell. So I did not enjoy it at all, and I think I started to lose confidence. I didn't want to draw attention, didn't want to do readings. So that's definitely one part for me, was allowing someone to chip away at my confidence. But I bet that happens to everyone. The second one is sometimes it's not actually a fear as in anxiety. Obviously anxiety is too much fear. So you've got too much fear and it's got to too high a level. You know that I follow the Linden method and that worked for me. So if you want to know a little bit more about it, I'd say look at the Linden method. But I think everyone gets nervous about things, but you get good energy, because when I did used to do things like public speaking, you would have butterflies. But for some reason, when we get older, for a lot of us, we don't see it as butterflies anymore. We see it as fear, terror, scared. So I think there's also an element of misreading your natural instincts when you're a bit apprehensive about something or you're not looking forward to it. So I think there was an element of, I wouldn't say, I suppose it was bullying. So there's an element of somebody chipping away at my confidence. There was an element of misreading your body's natural reactions to being nervous about things. And then also you've got to look at health. Sometimes there are different health issues which can manifest in symptoms that make you think that you're anxious, but it's actually not anxiety. It can be a health issue. And for me, I've had low iron on and off through since teens, since high school, which corresponds with when I started to lose my confidence and was worried about failing and making a fool of yourself, all these things. So again, when you have low iron, that can also trigger in you anxiety-like feelings. So you're not actually anxious, but you're getting the symptoms that mimic anxiety. So all these things mixed together, and all of a sudden you've got no confidence. You can be telling yourself that you can't do anything, and it can really affect what you choose to do, because you're worried about failing, because you're worried that people might judge you, or you don't make a good impression, or you embarrass yourself. So I think for most of us, we could probably say there was a defining moment, or there was a situation, or there was a health issue, or one of these things. So have a little look at what you think it could be, but don't overanalyze it, because there's no point. The second thing is that you might actually want to look at what you are looking to achieve. So is your fear of failure because you're looking to achieve something where the stakes are high? And again, if you're going for a job where you maybe have to be in front of a group or an audience, or maybe you're doing something where you have to do presentations, or you are responsible for things, there's so many different jobs that come with a fear of failure. And because you're worried about failing, sometimes that can put you off even wanting to do it, because you get yourself into that negative headspace where you think, I probably won't be able to do this, or other people will be better. And because you've got that mindset, you put yourself off and you just don't do it. So I think it would be helpful to be honest with yourself and think about what it is that you want to do, or what it is that you're doing that you feel you're holding yourself back with, and just say, am I actually telling myself, like the self-sabotage thing? Some people say that you're your own worst critic, or you bully yourself in ways that you wouldn't allow anyone else to do. Just have a think and say, what is this fear of failure about? Am I too concerned about what other people think? Am I telling myself that I can't do it? Because a lot of the time you're just talking yourself out of something that deep down you are more than capable of. So that's another area that could be worth thinking about. So in January, when I thought, right, enough's enough, I'm actually putting myself off doing jobs, taking opportunities. People would contact me to do something, I would say, oh, I can't do that. Why can't I do it? Because I've told myself I can't do it. So I thought, right, enough's enough. So as I say, I knew that back in the day, I could do public speaking, I could talk to groups. I used to enjoy doing readings. I still don't want to do readings, so that's something I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. Don't want to do like public presentations. But it made me realise that if the confidence was there, then it should still be there. So you might have felt that you've lost your confidence, but I actually think you've just misplaced it. You know it's somewhere within you, you've just locked it behind a door, or you've moved it away and you've told yourself you don't have confidence, so you've got low confidence, but you do, it's there. So I thought, right, I am going to reclaim this confidence that I had. And what I thought the first thing I had to do was start taking opportunities. So you probably know that a lot of people talk about visualizations, manifestations. Now, I'm not talking about taking it to the point where you're sitting in a room and you've got all the candles out and you're just eyes closed taking it so seriously. I did it a little bit more subtly than that. I thought, right, what is it I'm looking to achieve? And I had some goals in mind. I wanted to know, can I talk to people who I presume I am not on a level to talk to? Can I talk in a public platform? Can I talk in an area where it's actually not recorded and it's live and I've got to do it there and then? And can I talk if it's actually not just my voice, but it's me? You can see me. So I had various goals and I thought, can I do these? Is it worth pursuing it? So I started visualising things. I thought, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. Some of them I thought, would I like to do that? I don't know. Would I like to, for instance, sometimes you see vlogs, which I love watching for other people, and they'll say, oh, I went on stage at this event. And I was thinking, would I like to do that? No, I don't think so. I'm not ready for that. And I thought, you know, some people do big presentations to groups and it's about their subject. I thought, no, I wouldn't like to do that. Now, the funny thing is, I did actually claim back some confidence when I went into teaching, because I knew that when I went to university, I'd have to teach. I'd have to get up in front of a group and I'd have to do, I don't call it presentations when you're teaching, it's sharing information. I think if you branded it a presentation, I couldn't do it. But when you're sharing your information, that's different. So I did my Bachelor of Arts in teaching, and on day one, I knew I'd have to stand up and do a very short 5-minute introduction to a class of my choice. And I was terrified, but I did it. So I already had it in the back of my head that I did that all those years ago. So I knew that the confidence was there. So this year I did start. So I reached out to people for the podcast. Quite a few of them got back to me. And I did actually manage to have conversations. So that was the first thing, conversations with people who I thought were beyond me, as in beyond my level. And I'm happy to say they all went well. They were really good conversations and I got great feedback, because actually I was tapping into something that I knew I could do. I think if you've got a fear of failure and you're going into something and you don't actually know what you're doing, I can understand why the risks are higher, because you're maybe going into something and you don't feel you're capable, you don't feel you're at the right level. I get that. So I think you've also got to make sure that you feel you can do it. So second thing was, can I talk to someone, or can I put myself in a situation where I'm actually in public but it's not a live situation? And I put myself in the mix for being on the radio, but it was a recording. It was where you pick songs, your favourite songs from the 80s, and I put myself in the mix, and a couple of days later I got a message saying, can you record something like today? And it was because they wanted to use it in January, and because my surname was Burns and it was Burns night. So I put it out there and I got it back within a couple of days. And I thought, can I do this? I did it and it went really well. And I'm pleased to say that they liked my song choices as well. So I had that extra level of like, yes, I did it and I made good choices. So I was happy with that. Then I thought, can I actually put myself out there to be a guest in a situation where it's almost like a chat, an interview, there's an audience but it's not live. So again, I put myself in the mix, and within about a week I got an email saying, we're doing a podcast recording, we'd love for you to come on the podcast. So that happened, and again within about half an hour of counting down to being on it, I was thinking, what are you doing, why have you done this, you're crazy. But I did it and it went really well. So there we go, that happened too. Then I continued putting the sort of vibes out, the manifestation, the visualization, which was, could I do an interview? Would I be comfortable doing an interview? And I got asked if I would do an interview for an upcoming documentary. No idea when it's going to be on, but it was about makeup and different scenarios where, you know, is makeup for everyone? Is it inclusive? Is it equality based? And again, I did that. I don't know if and when it'll be out, but I achieved it. So I thought, here we go. So the next plan, there was a bit of a gap because I thought, right, you've done well, don't push it. I did have an inkling that I wondered if I could do the live thing. So again, manifesting, can you do the live thing? I was also listening to people who were in the public platform saying how they overcame it, because you presume that people that are celebrities, you always think, well, they're comfortable, they're confident. But I would hear people that are huge on TV, singers, they would be talking about stage fright, and it was almost as if they were talking to me. I felt as if the more I was convincing myself that I can overcome this fear of failure, and essentially for me it's like failing at your knowledge, failing at being good in the moment, performing in the moment, answering the questions, being entertaining. That, I think that's where my fear was coming from. Can I do this? And I would hear interviews with actors who you know quite well, and they would be saying, every time we do the first night of a play, we're all pacing about. Some people have got a bucket and they're being sick into it, and we're all saying, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? We're crazy. Why are we doing this? But we always do it, and we get on stage, and within 10 minutes we're fine. Then I heard a singer saying that hadn't performed on stage because they'd stage fright for like 25 years. And then they said, we decided, it was I think him and his manager, can I do this? So they organised a group, but they gave they made up a name, so it wasn't who, you didn't know who it was going to be. And I read that he said that the enjoyment outweighed the terror. And I thought, this is as if I'm attracting all this encouragement. So long story short, an opportunity came up to be on TV, but it was on Zoom. So I put myself in the mix, and I got an email, can we have a Zoom chat with you? And it happened. So I said yes, because I thought, actually I want to do this. It's not like I'm being asked to do something and I don't want to do it. I want to do this. So when I was about to go on live TV, I am not going to lie, I did think, what have I done? I've made a mistake. I don't want to do this. Can I turn the computer off? Will I just say that the electricity cut out? I bet everyone feels the same. Heart was pumping, but that's normal because, again, you're excited. People that are adrenaline junkies say that they live for that. So I think if you've got a fear of failure and you're a bit apprehensive, I think you have to remind yourself that adrenaline is there to do a good job. So if you're an adrenaline junkie and you're about to do the bungee jump, you're living for that. But when you're frightened of failure, you tell yourself that this heart pumping thing is bad and, oh no, I shouldn't be doing this, and I've got the confirmation because my heart's racing. No, you've got to see that as the adrenaline because you're preparing to do your job and you're going to have a good time. So I settled in really quickly and I had a great time, and they actually invited me back, which is good. And then the other one was, can I do live radio? And that was the other one that I thought, right, fear of failure, can I do it? Again, put myself in the mix, heard back, had a preliminary chat. They said that a lot of people back out, so they phone you the day of the chat because you're live on the radio, and they said, we'll phone you at 1 just to make sure you haven't changed your mind. But I thought, no, I want to do this, I do. So I got the phone call and I was like, no, I'm still up for it. Again, when you know there's a countdown, it's like an hour to go, half an hour to go, there is an element of you thinking again, why am I doing this? Why have I said? But then I thought about what the actors said, they think it too, why am I doing this? I'm guessing that when someone's going out on stage for anything, there might be an element of, why am I doing this? I don't have to do this, I can do something else, but I want to do it. So it was Radio 2, which is apparently the biggest commercial station in Europe. But again, I only found out afterwards, so I'm glad I didn't think too much about it because I listened to it, so I knew. I was on with Sarah Cox, who's brilliant. It went really well. We had a little chat after it. It's your first and last concert, so it's only on about 3 or 4 minutes. And then afterwards we had a quick chat where she said I was funny and I did well. So I was like, thank you, Sarah. I needed to hear that. I did need to hear that because you don't know. You think, right, I hope I did okay. And then a couple of days later, she was talking about their listener figures and she said that it was 5 million people. So I don't know if I would have wanted to do it if I'd have known that it's gone out to 5 million people and you're live. But I do feel as if you can blast away a fear of failure and you can do anything if you just get yourself in that right mindset. So I think the project's not finished. There's other things I want to do, but I hope that that's gave you some ideas. I'm not saying that that's how you would approach it, but just to condense it now into my tips, I would say think about what it is that maybe gave you the issues with the confidence and the fear of failure. Explain to yourself why that's not relevant now. Figure out your plan. So what are you going to do? What projects are you going to give yourself to convince yourself that you can actually overcome this? And I would say make them fun. So make these challenges things that you want to do. Don't say my challenge is that I'm scared of public speaking, so I'm going to put myself through it, because then you'll just be like going through hell because you're doing something that you don't want to do. So give yourself challenges that you actually, when push comes to shove, if for any reason the challenge didn't go ahead, you'd be gutted. Because then I think that you know that you're going to overcome your fear of failure in a positive way, because you know that if you didn't do it, you'd be a bit devastated, thinking, wish I'd have done that, wish that had happened. I wouldn't take on a challenge where you're thinking, I really don't even know, I'm not convinced this is right for me. Maybe hold off. So pick challenges that you think, actually, I'd be quite gutted if I couldn't do that. And that's what I've been doing. I've been picking challenges that I thought, oh, why am I doing this? But at the heart of it, it's because I want to. But again, this isn't about ego, because I didn't actually tell anyone at the time I was doing them. I still haven't told friends and family that I've done it. I've told a couple of you on YouTube. I put it in the community section. But I still haven't told friends and family that I've done it, because I wasn't doing it for attention. I was doing it to see if I could. And I'm going to continue to pick these little challenges to see if I can. And I'll probably tell you after I've done them. Probably not before. Because again, I'm not doing it for anyone to say, oh, good for you, well done you, as in like showing off. I'm doing it to see if I can. So I would love to know what you are intending to do, what you have done, what your plans and your projects have been, because I've found it quite an interesting year. And now that I've proven I can do it to myself, I am going to continue. So if you want to know more, I'll tell you more. But other than that, I hope you found it useful. Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.